So President Trump has vowed to make D.C. safe and beautiful again. And as part of his effort to fight crime, he's bringing in our federal law enforcement partners like FBI, ATF, DEA, or Park Police, everybody to help the Metropolitan PD fight crime. And the president's message to the criminals was, if you spit, we hit. Well, we didn't quite do that the other night when an individual went up to one of the federal law enforcement officers and started jumping up and down, screaming at him, berating him, yelling at him. And then he took a Subway sandwich about this big and took it and threw it at the officer. He thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony, assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there. Stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
There you go. Opinions on the case.
Again, it's like it goes back to the Jussie Smollett story where he was going out to get a Subway sandwich.
Oh, don't worry.
Subway seems to be involved with everything, Eric.
Yeah, but okay, one major difference here. Jussie had enough respect for his food that he kept holding on to that sandwich even after he was attacked. I don't know if you remember that.
No fool, Jussie. No fool.
Right now, like me, I'm not going to be throwing a sandwich away, as you can definitely see. Why would I waste that kind of food?
There was an article about the guy who interfaced with another civilian who was from D.C., and he saw the guy trying to, at first, asking him which were the cars belonging to the police officials who were there. And the guy said, I don't know. He says they all have different cars. And he was trying to take the Subway Hero sandwich and smash it into the windshield. That was his plan of the car that was driven by the police. However, he was drunk out of his mind, the guy said, and he said to him, you're not going to, he said, don't do it, bro. You're not going to want to remember this in the morning or try to remember this. He said, this is not going to go well. And some civilian was trying, this is before he threw the Subway thing at the cop. Mm-hmm. He was trying to stop him from doing it to the car. And then he said he just got crazier and crazier, ranting and ranting and ranting. He was obviously bombed out of his mind. According to,
is this drugs or alcohol?
It was alcohol. He said he was totally drunk and yelling. Obviously, a DOJ official who was coming from work, from a bar, got the Subway, headed home, and then decided to go nuclear on the police.
You'll have time on his hands now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully so. I mean, he lost his job. He lost his 401k. He lost his shit. He lost his sandwich. That sandwich there, probably $11 based on DC Subway prices.
Oh, God, no, it's probably 15.
Oh, 15. I'm sorry.
I think they're $7.06.
You know what? Now. I get everything now because, if they're going to charge me for the sandwich and you have an option of putting anything on there for the same price, I just go put everything on. I don't care what it is. I'll take it.
You know what? I'm pickier than that. That's like a food.
Oh, so am I, but I'm sticking it to the man.
I get it, but I'm not going to suffer for the man.
Take it off. I feed the pigeons. I don't care.
I guess so. But one of the most disgusting foods ever made to me is a Denver omelet. I can't stand them. I do not like red and green peppers and all that.
Once in a while, my uncle's coffee shop, we got it was on the menu. Didn't happen that often, usually from somebody from the West who was in New York, ordered a Denver omelet. We had to make it. I had it. It wasn't my favorite omelet. The Western was better. I like the Western omelet. But the Denver, I remember that. Nobody ordered the Denver omelet.
I do not like it. It's like, you don't need to throw everything into a damn omelet. We could be simple.
No, my favorite was a ham and cheese omelet. I loved a ham and cheese omelet.
Wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful. My uncle would make it for me when I was working there. What else is my favorite omelet?
Mushrooms are great in an omelet. Like mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mushrooms are good. We used to have a thing called salami and eggs where you put salami in there.
Oh, that's good.
And scrambled it with the thing. That was great. A lot of good things. Like
that's a breakfast bowl type of thing.
Scrambled
eggs with little sausage bits.
Yeah, whatever's in there.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Yeah, somebody's pointing out it's not kosher.
Well, we use kosher. We use Hebrew National salami. So,
Oh, that's true. I did have beef hot dogs growing up.
we had to like cut it up in thin slices and put it in there.
Oh, all right. So yes, our culinary encounters. But you know what?
What?
It is funny because Jussie is back in the headline at the exact same time
Yeah.
as the subway wielder. I cannot believe this knucklehead is getting another round. Apparently, they have a documentary that he's in.
No. It's a show. It's a Survivor type show. Jack Osborne was on it, and what's his name from Vanderpump Rules was on it. It is a survival show with some British special forces guys that take you through. He's just another guy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Dr. Drew did it the first year.
Okay, that makes sense.
8 and 9 people together running through military maneuvers and sleeping out, and they have to like do some spy work. And I remember Jack Osborne had like heart palpitations, Ozzy's son, and he had to be flown out.
Okay, well, no, that makes sense because that's good TV. This wimp who's so goofy that he makes up an assault having to go through actual military training. I get that.
The British trainers are quite harsh. They're quite harsh to everyone on the show.
Let me guess, SAS, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, but they're all Brits, and they don't know who. They really don't even know who these celebrities are, and they don't really give a shit, which is kind of cool.
Well, I'm sure that they looked at Jussie and let him open his mouth. They knew who he was pretty quickly. Not by headline, just by character. You could probably
we're going to find out.
They're like, what kind of poof is this?
Wait a minute, Hunley. Come on. We're going to find out in the fall how long he lasts. He might surprise you.
Okay, he might. Well, I'll let everybody know. Mark is cheering for Jussie to.
Well, the longer he lasts, the more entertaining the show might be. I don't think they signed him up for a 1 and out. Let me put it that way.
I'm sure if there's ever a tie, they will kick him forward just because, like.
Well, it's girls too. There's some tough chicks in there too, like UFC fighters and different other tough girls.
Well, I'll take Gina Carano over Jussie.
There's Gina Carano types in there. There are some types like that.
Well, she'd probably kick ass, but she's probably a little above it. All right, so into the story that there was a thumbnail and all that. Melania versus Hunter Biden. Did you have that on your bingo card?
No, I did not. But now Trump has given her the go-ahead to continue the lawsuit. Again, this goes back to the Singer letter that I received when I wrote an article for the local paper about Mark Walters, the owner of the Dodgers, having an affair with a woman who worked for him allegedly at Guggenheim, who was a VP. He got her a house in Malibu. It was in the New York Post. I mean, it wasn't like I had broken this story. I just wrote about it because I was covering the Dodgers. Mm. And we got a letter. I got a letter from Singer, the lawyer, the big Hollywood lawyer here, threatening to sue if I didn't apologize and take it down. And I said, I didn't originate this thing. It was in the New York Post. And he famously said to me in the letter, that it doesn't matter. The defamation law doesn't matter where you got it from. He said, we'll deal with them separately. And the reason, and then I lost my job. The publisher didn't back me for 1 millisecond. She threw me under the bus.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Right. But the similarity to the Melania case is that it originated with the Daily Beast, went to jail.
I'm just saying. Wolf article with Daily Beast, yeah.
No, I'm just saying it originated with a publication like this did with the New York Post, and the Daily Beast took it down and apologized, and then Carville recanted and apologized, and then the chain of command led to me, or in this case, Hunter Biden, which is playing the role of me in this analogy of the two stories. So he said, "Go fuck yourself, bring it on."
I was gonna share that. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But now here we are, and I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein?
That's not going to happen.
Which, by the way, is he's setting himself up so perfectly to get sued. Like,
Yeah.
did you say F that? I'm not going to take it down or anything else?
Yeah.
Or oh, you did. Okay. Well.
Oh no. You're talking about my case.
When the publication takes it down, and they gave him a warning. They said, take
no.
this down, take it
I
back.
didn't. Mine was in writing, so I got a letter, and
Right.
then the publisher got a letter, and I assumed she would go to bat for me, but instead she fired me, and then made a public apology and took it down.
Okay. Well,
Right.
I
I'm
was
just yeah.
I was going to say Hunter though has no leg to stand on in my opinion,
Right,
because
exactly.
He's been given a warning. All he has to do is take it down and apologize, like Carville. Doesn't even, he can half-ass it. I mean, Carville didn't spend a lot of time. He just took it down. And he said, well, got the information. I apologize. But Hunter's like, well, F that. I'm like, okay, well, now F that.
This is going to bring back Kevin Morris, the subject of last week's episode, who is Hunter's lawyer. Kevin Morris is now going to represent him in this $1 billion lawsuit in damages. Again, the origin of it is that he said that she was introduced to Donald Trump by Epstein, just a complete fabrication. And in reality, what's going against him is the fact that the other two entities have agreed with her, and apologized.
If you really look at what Michael Wolff said, he never said directly that she was introduced. He said that they ran in the same circles, and I believe that, that there was a modeling agency involved. So Hunter took what was said and then kind of took it even further. And Michael Wolff is not a good source, not the guy you want to go to for.
Well, he's been a professional journalist of the highest level, whether you believe him or not, at New York Magazine and in New York for 30 years. So, I mean, Michael Wolff is not a guy. You're absolutely right about his credibility, but that he is a massive media figure in New York. Mm-hmm. Don't be fooled by what you hear about Michael Wolff. He's huge. He's huge.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean he has a lot of credibility in those circles in New York.
I'd say a lot of power. I mean,
power.
His credibility
depends who you talk to, but anyway, he's a big fish.
All right. I thought you might like this article. A couple things in here that are interesting. DC paid protester requests surge 400% amid Trump's federal takeover of the city police by a company. This guy is a CEO of a company that sells crowds.
Dude, I mean, how many times did we talk about this? And now it's coming out from the shadows. Where they're going to go on strike and have no more protests and have a sit-down strike unless their demands are met in a hostage video of a 400% increase in protest fees. I mean, this is like something from SNL. I mean, you can't make this up. The Crowd Rental Company. Hello.
Crowds on Demand. That's the name of the company.
This is Crowds on Demand. How many do you need? I need about 400 what is the venue, sir? It's a high school. We're protesting the parents demanding censoring of trans books. Okay, do you want a mix of men and women? What's the age group, please? And what is your budget? I mean, I assume that's actually what's going on there.
Oh yeah, I know. I just
why can't anybody crack this code like somebody like Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch, or some undercover group go in there and find out how this works? I mean, if I was younger, I would do it. I mean, I would love to just sign up for this and get in there and bust the whole thing wide open.
Well, Jose Vega probably has done it, or others. I'm sure that James O'Keefe can find a few people to go float around in the crowd. It's not a big.
There's
reach.
A sign. James O'Keefe, get your men out there to protest.com. I assume they're based in D.C., Eric, right? But they have probably branches around the country.
They have a New York branch too. So.
Right, but I'm saying they're not flying people in from out of town. They probably have local city branches, right?
Yeah, probably. And by the way, you got BG on the scene. I mean, it's like he probably knows half the people that are, professional protesters, because some of these folks, I think, come up event after event after event after event.
Yeah, this kid Friedman, who's been covering it, the pro-Palestinian ones, he knows them by name. He's put them on viral blast, and now they run away from him because they've been outed. This is affecting their business. They may sue him for outing them.
I guess, but you know what's weird is it doesn't seem like it matters. Like people know the fact that there's a company called, Crowds on Demand, and then you just pay and they send down a busload and that's your protest. It turns the whole thing into a joke, but yet.
Well, it's not
People
illegal, I
still
assume,
see-
unless you can come up with some obscure law.
I don't think it's
That's on-
illegal.
No, I'm saying unless there's
Yeah.
some obscure law that you and I don't know about fomenting a phony protest. I don't know every law in the books. There could be something there. I just like that Pam Bondi fired or depowered, defanged the chief of police, that crazy lesbian short-haired woman in D.C. and replaced her with the DEA guy. I mean, that's the best story of the week. I mean, this morning she told her she's done. There's
Well,
no
maybe the chief of police has just gotten a lesson in the chain of command.
The chain of command, which she didn't know what it was, she now learned the hard way that she's not part of the chain of command. Terry Cole, the DEA administrator, will be taking over running the law enforcement operations for the District of Columbia, replacing the non-compliant chief of police who was a DEI figurehead anyway. One of the three, the DEI troika. Yeah, he looks official. How about that guy? He looks like a guy.
He looks like a cop. Yeah.
Yeah, he could do it. He could do it.
Got to be better than that one. Oh God, I don't. She's not. Her
The other breaking news is, of course, the grand jury indicting the Democratic mayor of the great city of New Orleans. We now have a mayoral indictment, Hunley, and this will begin to spread across the country. Cantrell is her name. She has been banging her bodyguard and funneling money to him, allegedly, and giving him tons of overtime, using a government apartment to have this tryst with the bodyguard.
This sounds very similar to the New York. I don't know if he was a commissioner or whatever, police commissioner who had the cops that he.
Yeah, here it is. LaToya Cantrell indicted on federal charges. She's going down. This guy Vappy, Jeffrey Vappy, is the lover in this case, and they were using overtime. He was working 18 hours a day because he was servicing the mayoral account in various ways that are not traditionally serviced. The feds are on to them, and this is what I've been saying about Mayor Bass. This is what I'm saying about these big city mayors. They are coming for each of them. I did not see this coming. I knew about this story brewing. NBC News and local papers in New Orleans have been talking about the grand jury, but it's the first time in the city's corrupt history, and it's got a long history of corruption.
Yeah, Nagel, remember him?
Who?
Nagel, school bus Nagel.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of them, but the point of the matter is she's the first one to have a sitting mayor facing criminal prosecution. And she can be a great model on how to do this, like DC is a great model on how to clean up a blue urban environment. This is going to put the fear of God into the other Black women mayors and the other ethnic grifters and hustlers around the country who have no idea how to run a city and couldn't care less.
Well, speaking of Black females that cause trouble, we just talked about her a couple days ago. Jasmine Crockett.
What is she doing now? What does she want to be redistricted, or she doesn't want to be redistricted or gerrymandered? Let's say Jerry.
Her seat has been eliminated.
Oh my God!
So she's got to find another place to land to run.
Mo Larry the cheese. Mo Larry the cheese. You know, Crockett may have some trouble here. She may have to move on up to the east side to a brand new apartment in the sky. But gerrymandering is an interesting thing. You know, now, just to give you an update from California, he had what looked like a presidential launch press conference here in LA yesterday. Gavin Newsom with placards printed up and people holding the placards at this press conference. And people are going, what is this kind of press conference? And he announced that he is going to attempt to get this ballot initiative onto the November 5th ballot here, just to give you the inside the weeds here, 15 years ago, there was a ballot initiative in California to create a nonprofit bipartisan commission to redistrict the different areas of California based on the current census every 10 years. So this would be a foundation, a commission not involved in politics that was selected by the California people, put into the California Constitution, by the way, that this redistricting foundation or board is the only one allowed to redistrict or to redraw the gerrymander lines, Eric, based on every 10 years census. Okay, so it took the politics out of it. Very progressive at the time. It was passed by the California voters in 15 years ago. And
that was
now,
under Schwarzenegger, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
okay,
now
Schwarzenegger's making fun of Newsom.
So now his ballot initiative would eliminate the board and turn it back over to him. Now, this is never going to fly. This is never going to fly. He would then do whatever he wants, undermining one of the most progressive pieces of legislation in California history in terms of bipartisan politics. Anyway, so there's pushback and blowback and everything else. And gerrymandering, just to give you the history of gerrymandering, because a lot of people don't know what gerrymandering is. Gerrymandering, 1812, let's go to Massachusetts. They now have 0 Republicans. They had more in 1812. They had a governor named
Gerry,
Albert
right?
Gerry.
Yeah,
his name was Albert Gerry. He was the governor of Massachusetts. And he created a crazier squiggle map than even the one that Pritzker has in Illinois. It was so
like a salamander.
Thanks for telling me the story. But let's move on. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Well, whatever.
Okay, thanks. Okay. What else you got?
I mean, let's go back to your press conference with Newsom.
Oh, yeah. So they arrested some people outside. And
somebody's upset.
She seems to be very upset that they arrested illegals outside of the press conference.
Not believe that this just happened to be a coincidence.
There is no way this was a coincidence. This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful. It's a provocative act. They're talking about disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a administration. This is a Customs and Border Patrol that has gone amok. This absolutely has to stop. There was no danger here. There was no need to detain anyone here. And there was certainly no need to have a provocative act right here where the governor is having a press conference.
I've never seen her. I've never seen her so crazed in my life. She's obviously been trolled to death by Trump. They're saying she's had a complete nervous breakdown at this time. And that was as crazy. She's usually extremely calm because she was a sitting congresswoman for many years.
Flat, almost dead.
Yeah. She's on Valium and Xanax, and she's completely zoned. Yeah, the Joker face. She's completely zoned out. But she lost her shit yesterday. She was there holding this phony press conference with a phony governor, with a phony redistricting plan that was actually, if you had video or saw what was going on inside, it looked like a campaign rally to launch his presidential campaign, Eric.
Which it was.
Which it was. Alex Michelson was there saying this looks like the launch of his campaign.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, the other coast, back to D.C., we've got proof that homeless encampments, well, there's a way to deal.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Pretty effective.
It didn't take too long.
No, it's funny how that works, right?
Oh, there's his tent. It's like up on a foundation or something.
Yeah.
Where is this? This looks like the Taconic Parkway or something alongside the Taconic. Is this New York State, Eric?
No, it's D.C.
Oh, D.C. I'm sorry. Okay.
Anyway, wow. That's always nice to see.
Eric Adams, moments ago, breaking news out of New York. now calling for the involuntary restraint of addictive homeless people. Again, this is the first time a New York politician has called for the involuntary taking down of addicted homeless people and taking them into medical treatment custody.
Oh, okay. Institutionalizing that.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It probably would be healthy for them. I mean,
I don't know if it's going to be healthy for Adams's campaign. He's down to about 7 or 8%, and he's dead in the water.
Yeah.
But, I listened to Sliwa yesterday, had a big press conference, and Sliwa was super aggressive, raised the same amount of money as Mandami from different smaller sources, and he knows where the bodies are buried in New York. In a perfect world, he would make a great mayor of New York. He's the only hope we have. If Cuomo and Adams would coalesce around Sliwa, this is winnable. I don't think they're going to do it, but what Trump has to do is get on the blower to this fucking piece of shit Cuomo, and also to Adams, and say, get out of the race, and I'll give you something here in D.C. for you to have a career with. It's not complicated.
Or something.
It's not complicated. It doesn't have to be a high-profile job, but you could be my emissary in New York and stay where you are. But he's got to get on the phone. Letting this guy take over Wall Street to show how bad socialists are. I don't need an education in giving this guy the biggest city in the country, having a socialist mayor in Chicago and a socialist mayor in LA. They will have to quote a Canadian phrase, have a hat trick there. The situation has to be stopped before it gets to November 5th. And one way to stop it is to play legitimate politics and just say, look, I'm coming in on this thing, and I'm going to throw down with Curtis Sliwa, who is the Republican candidate, and just get these two mutts out of the way. But you got to do something. You can't just wait till the guy gets elected. Right now, even the betting odds are up to like 80 or 75% of him getting in there, Eric.
Well, you've already elected him, so.
But everybody else has, unless there's some change, some draconian change, that being a 600-pound gorilla in D.C., that's going to be the fate of this election, and nobody's going to stop it.
It's Trump's hometown.
It's his hometown. He's so quiet on this thing. Something's got to give here.
I don't know. Deus ex machina. Maybe he'll be.
He's got to come down from heaven. And look, if you want to go my route, challenge his naturalization citizenship from 2018, where he lied on his application of not being a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. I mean, you could pull that, but if you want to play just regular politics, the clear route is to force or entice Cuomo and Adams out of the race. And if you get a freaking endorsement, that would be really gravy.
Yeah, I'm sure he could find something for Cuomo to do.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I mean, these two families go back decades. His father and Cuomo's father, they've known each other for 60 years, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, there's some sort of ambassadorship or something, whatever that.
Ambassador to Italy, for Christ's sakes. What is he, Italian?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, give him an ambassador to Italy.
Well, wait a minute.
What's his name?
Walt's already got the UN ambassador. I was going to say make him the UN ambassador, but that already.
No, I think what's the name? Trump Jr.'s ex-girlfriend's in Italy, so he's going to have to.
No, she's in Greece.
Okay, so give him Italy. Give him Italy.
Yeah, she got kind of moved right on by not only Trump Jr.'s ex, but also Gavin Newsom's ex. While we're putting it all together, so Kimberly's been getting around. All right, I don't know if you saw the story. Legendary attorney, trial lawyer, one of the greatest in history, Gerry Spence, passed away a couple days ago. 96, not a bad run. Now, your knowledge of him is probably tied in more with the trial he did with Bugliosi.
Oh, I don't really take that seriously.
Spence,
it's a TV show.
Sir.
But go ahead. Yeah, run it.
Well, it's just a little bit.
I mean, he's had a long, legitimate, real career, but I mean, this is a theater piece, right?
Essentially, it is.
Court, please.
Proceed.
Mr. Bugliosi. My partner, Eddie, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you. I have been doing this a long time.
I'm not going to dwell on it because the closing argument is going to be a long one.
It's 35 minutes, it looks like.
Well, yeah, the whole video or whatever. We're not going to do the whole bit. He went down because obviously Karen Silkwood, major win in 1974. A movie got made off of it. And my favorite case that he did was a Sheriff Cantrell. Sheriff Cantrell shot and killed one of his deputies. It was like an undercover, kind of going off the rails. But very famously in the courtroom, Gerry Spence got a quick draw shooter to stand up next to a deputy, had the deputy armed with blanks, the hammer pulled back on the pistol, holding it out, ready to fire. And the quick draw guy was so fast that the deputy didn't even get a chance to pull the trigger. That's all he had to do was pull.
Whoa.
That quick draw guy was so fast. So then Gerry Spence asked the quick draw guy, do you know Sheriff Cantrell? And the quick draw guy's like, yeah. And he goes, well, how was he with the pistol? He said, he's a mite quicker. And that got him acquitted from first-degree murder all the way out because he was just that fast. So interesting character. He also got Imelda Marcos off.
Who didn't? George Hamilton told me that he got her off. And he just celebrated his 86th birthday the other day.
Ba-da-bum-bum.
Yeah.
And when's he going to be on What's Up with Lord Buckley?
I don't know. I mean, he told me this story about Imelda Marcos. I mean, he became an unindicted co-conspirator in the case of them laundering money in his particular bank account in L.A. And he lawyered up. He didn't get Gerry Spence, but he got a good lawyer, and he got off saying he didn't know they were putting the money in his account, which was the whole purpose of the account. But he got off by the skin of his teeth, George Hamilton.
Well, and Spence got her off, which is like a shocking thing. Anyway, it is the loss. 96, pretty good run though. Pretty good run. Now, here is the biggest surprise endorsement you sent earlier. I was like, oh, okay. Everybody, now we can say everybody is recommending Donald Trump for the Nobel Prize.
Oh yeah, everyone's in, right?
Yeah, because conditionally speaking, if this goes down with Putin, even Hillary Clinton.
Well, she's got certain stipulations, Eric. She's got some stips.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to give the land back. They've got to make a national holiday for Zelensky. They have to celebrate every year the defeat of Putin. Trump has to accept it naked, just wearing his underwear. I mean, come on. But I think there's 6 or 7 countries that actually are nominating him.
They
right, Eric?
Yeah, I think India might already. Obviously,
I heard a list today of like 6 countries.
Yeah, I don't remember all of them, but
right.
I can't. I have struggled with the name. Armenia and Azerbaijan. I don't know if they're
Azerbaijan is Azerbaijan. I wouldn't know it either, except I live near Glendale. If you're Azerbaijani, dude, there was a story of this Glendale guy lives out in Van Nuys or something. He was an Armenian who keeps blasting horns on his roof 24/7, giant like truck horns that are strapped to a pole outside his house. Train horns. Yeah, dude, it's so loud. It's deafening. It's been going on for months and months and months. They call the police. The police show up and he turns them off. Yeah, he turns them off when the cops show up. And because of cop rules, the cop says we can't arrest because it's not happening when we're here. So dig the story. He lives next door to what would have been his father-in-law if he hadn't caught his girlfriend cheating on him and didn't marry her a number of years ago. So the guy next door is the guy threatening to kill him, and he's an Armenian gang leader, allegedly. This guy just runs, of course, like all the other Armenians, he runs a car body shop and garage, lives in a nice house in Van Nuys, and the guy has sent people over to threaten him and to beat him up and kill him repeatedly. And so to save his own life, he decided to put these train horns on the roof of his house and blast them 24/7 to alert the police to come over and deal with this. The police did come over and they physically arrested him. They didn't do anything to the godfather of Armenian mob who lives next door, allegedly, from this guy's story. He did not marry the daughter of the Armenian, and the Armenian, they're both Armenians, but the godfather, boss of bosses, is not happy with him. And he said on camera, I am not suicidal. I am not going to do anything to anybody. I am in perfect. He started to like, really just, you could see he's petrified, Eric. But what a weird story. The neighbors cover their
Look,
ears.
I would want him arrested if I was one of the other neighbors.
He kept apologizing to the neighbors. He goes, I'm so sorry. This is my only recourse. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to die. I'm sorry for the train horns. And holy cow, I mean, were they loud?
Yeah, they are. Anyway, there's a picture of it in the video right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a picture of it. Yeah.
Well, it's a video.
Well, the cop on camera said there's nothing we can do because the rule says unless we hear it when we show up, and that could be a barking dog or anything.
Can I call bullshit on that? That's like
that's the rules.
No. It's a dumb rule because it's like saying
I agree.
Unless we see you robbing the store. Well,
that's what's happened out here. That thing you just said. They've used that a million times out here. Forget about it. I mean, if there's a dog barking or a verbal disturbance or audio disturbance, it's got to be happening when the cops show up. And people will turn it down, then turn it back up again.
Which is insane.
The cop was sympathetic to the guy. He said, we understand he's had threats from this other guy. Why they can't pick up the other guy for making death threats to him, I don't know. But maybe Hochman will get on this. Hochman has been so busy after we said what happened to Hochman. Hochman took down, with the help of Bill Saley, the new U.S. prosecutor, U.S. assistant prosecutor, took down one of the largest sex trafficking rings in L.A. history this week.
Oh, okay.
Dude, huge bust involving dozens and dozens of gang members. LAPD knew about it for decades, didn't do a goddamn thing. Asili with Hochman were involved in taking down this entire sex trafficking ring. They literally tattooed the girls. They were all pimping them out. They had their own tattoos on them of the gang, as young as 14, Eric.
The worst, obviously. Well, apparently the FBI has been doing a lot of takedowns of sex trafficking and things like that too. So
yeah.
There are some things that we can't see. And the problem with those cases too is when the victims are underage, it gets really difficult to even report on it because you've got to,
the gang members were not underage, and their photos were published in the LA Times yesterday. It was about 20 of them that took their names. Their names were crazy by itself. The names of the guys, Dogface Boy 2 and Hip Hop Man, and dude, the gang names were crazier than anything.
Well, wait a minute. Did you guys change your stupid law that you can't show mugshots of people anymore or whatever?
They showed them. I don't know what.
That's great.
It's not a law.
Remember,
it's not a law.
There was a policy or something that was in place that they weren't allowed to do the mugshots or some BS.
They published these guys. They smushed them all into one grid.
Well, good. I'm happy.
I think it might have been his office that did it. The federal prosecutor's office, to be precise.
Okay. Well,
whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was like the FBI was doing it.
Okay. Well, whatever works. All right, next story, a little culture here. Now, we were talking about South Park and who they do and they don't make fun of. Well, they're on Paramount Plus now, and already 5 episodes have been banned.
Ooh.
And taken down.
Really?
Yep. And you will be shocked.
That's because of the deal, right? Oh, because of Muhammad?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
You definitely have the Muhammad issues. And the episodes are Super Best Friends.
Wait, these are older ones, Eric, or new? Because it's
older. Season 5, episode 3, season 10, episode 3, season 10, episode 4, 14, episode 5, and 14, episode 6.
Why all of a sudden?
Let me see. And Super Best Friends in 2001 is a Scientology style cult.
Oh,
interesting.
That's a classic. I like that one. That's a classic.
Well, and because it has the Super Best Friends consisting of Buddha, Moses, Joseph Smith, Krishna, Laozi, Seaman, and Muhammad. Then the other 2 got pulled. But there's an argument on this too.
Pulled from Paramount Plus or HBO Max? As a little
Paramount Plus, because they were on HBO Max, but Paramount finally was able to pay.
Those are the 2 things I have: is Paramount Plus and HBO Max. So I got to watch it.
You're like, oh, wait, what? Yeah,
Wait, no,
so
they are I got 2 episodes so far. I guess there'll be 3 by tonight of
Mhm.
the new season. That's because I have Paramount Plus. I didn't know it was even on HBO Max.
It was until Paramount got to win them back because HBO had bought the right.
Oh, I
so
see.
then the new
Right,
stuff
right.
was on Paramount. The old is on there. You see that with Netflix and stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, lesson to learn: if you have them on DVD,
Yeah,
you'll
got
never
to get the
have
box
them
set,
once.
people. Got to get the box set.
It's
Otherwise,
$125
not only they disappear. How much is it?
125.
It's not bad. I mean, for
for 30 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's a bargain, bro. There's stuff that's even more expensive than that for other crap. But yeah, I mean, forget about the editing part. I mean, there are books they edit Amazon, and in your contract it says, which nobody realized, that they're allowed to edit your book to sell it on Amazon. And people must have thought, well, why would they want to edit my book? I mean, that's insane. And yet we found out that they edited various books on Amazon.
My favorite one, though, is in 2009 when they pulled 1984 off of Kindles.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the department. You can't make this up.
Yeah.
It really is.
There's also the department, you can't make this up, is them arresting a girl at McDonald's in London yesterday, 13-year-old girl in her Catholic schoolgirl outfit, for violating the curfew at 5 o'clock late in the afternoon with her McDonald's Happy Meal, dragging her off to a police car. I mean, these videos coming out of the UK, and maybe it's anecdotal, I don't really know, but I have never, ever seen a video of them arresting a Muslim. They must exist. I just have never seen one.
There were back in the day, but
when's the day? 1929?
No, in the early
70s.
In the aughts, you saw.
Okay.
Well, because then there was remember in the aughts they had some common sense. They were like, no, you can't have a driver's license with your full headgear on, and there.
Yeah.
So post 9/11, yeah, and they might have gone a little overboard at that time, but it has been a while. Everything is completely flipped on its head, and it is what it is. I mean, it's very, very frustrating. I just pulled up this story. Sorry. This is kind of a sad one to see. Kodak, 133 years old, may be ceasing operations.
I thought they ceased operations.
No, they've been kicking around for a bit.
I'm crushed.
Shifted.
Did they go out of business when digital cameras came out?
Well, here's the irony: Kodak invented the digital camera,
right? And so they killed themselves. I mean, Rochester is a ghost town up in upstate New York.
Well, no, they didn't kill themselves, and that's the problem. Is that they invented the digital camera, but they wouldn't allow it out on the market. They wouldn't sell it themselves because they made too much money on the paper and the film. And then so they let others come in and steal the whole digital camera market, which they had invented. But they have made some other headways. They had I forgot what it was. They expanded to something else, like a medical, in the medical field or something.
X-rays?
It wasn't X-rays.
MRI?
Some sort of chemical, because they deal with chemicals technically with the film. But here we go. Hold on. Pharmaceutical ingredients producer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which sounds crazy, but if you think about it, different chemicals and whatnot, they probably have some knowledge. Somebody says silver nitrate. I don't know about that, but and while we're talking about things that are gone by, this is one that I was like, oh, that's still around. Remember AOL?
Yeah, I heard they pulled the plug on that finally, the dial-up.
The dial-up, yeah.
Somebody sent me an email the other day, and their return address was AOL. And
that still exists. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that in I just want to say 10 years. And the guy said he's still using the same email. I hadn't spoken to this guy in 15 years.
Sure.
But he still had an AOL. I haven't seen an AOL email account in, I don't know, 20 years.
I have seen some.
Does he have to get rid of it now, or?
Well, no. They just aren't. They're not doing the dial-up. They probably
okay.
Which I didn't know that anybody was doing it, but they have had the email service this whole time. Remember, it was AOL was the internet at one point. People don't. people who aren't as old as we are do not remember how big of a deal AOL was.
Oh yeah.
But AOL, I mean, was so gigantic that people were paying for AOL and they would live all on AOL, and then they would hit a button to go outside of AOL to the internet, but they'd spend very little time on the internet. It was all in AOL on bulletin boards. And
they used to have those discs
chat
everywhere.
rooms and all that crap.
They used to have the DVD everywhere of AOL to slide
the
in.
CDs. Oh yeah,
the CD was everywhere.
We stacked them as candle holders and designer things. Absolutely. And then the movie You've Got Mail was tied in with that.
Nora Ephron.
Yeah. So I mean, things go by eventually, but that one I was kind of shocked. I'm like, I guess there's some rural people who might have continued using it, but it was the thing in the day. And speaking of a thing in the day, but maybe coming back, is it appears that Bruckheimer is talking to Johnny Depp and thinks that Johnny Depp is amenable to coming back if they've got the right script.
Yeah, I've heard this is already past that. He's in. I've heard this is already happening.
Well, this is August 12th, so I don't know.
Well, that's maybe it's an official contract then, but this has been people have accepted this for months, I think. But what's the Lana Del Rey article there? Calls out Ethel Cain in new song lyrics. That's more interesting. Anything about Lana Del Rey is more interesting to me than Johnny Depp. Inserting herself into my she must have written something. Is using her latest song to air out some drama about fellow singer Ethel Cain, who I don't know.
Are they going to be diss tracks?
Jesus. Dude, they're diss tracks. They're going at each other, Eric. Okay. It's like, it's like an audio catfight.
Oh, Cain is dating Lana Del Rey's ex.
Oh, okay.
Salem
Del Rey was in front of a Chicago jail.
Who's Salem's Jack? God, I feel old.
I'm gonna have to do some research after the show.
Obviously, this is very, very important to you.
As we found out yesterday, Andy Kaufman used to work as a busboy in Jerry's Deli in the Valley, and like Lana Del Rey did in the Waffle House, he was developing a character, and he worked in there as a busboy for months and months and months. And you go in to get a sandwich, and there was Andy Kaufman bussing your table.
Yeah. Well, whatever works. We've had this story kicking around for a while, but it won't really matter because in 10 years it'll change. Apparently, Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank gets a facelift every 10 years and a regular ear filler.
Not just the ear filler, which I didn't ever heard of before.
Neither have I.
But she gets so many different things, something like $300,000 a year just in facial or whatever the hell she's got going on here. I don't even know who she is.
You don't know who Shark Tank?
I've never really watched Shark Tank, but the deep plane facelift is $300K. Look at this chart. Look at this freaking chart that this chick has going on here with this money.
It makes me think of Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis Diller looked like a sea hag. By the way, somebody wants to play Phyllis Diller in the worst way. There's some Phyllis Diller bio kicking around that somebody wants to play her. I'll have to get back to you on that. It was in the trades yesterday. She has fractional CO2 laser on the face one time a year, whatever that is. I don't know what fractional laser is. Professional teeth whitening. Okay, a lot of people get that. A neck lift, lower eyelid skin pinch.
What's an ear filler? Go back to
I have no idea what's an ear filler. What do you need something in your ear? I mean, are her ears visible?
I don't know.
Maybe the ears get really thin and bony. We're gonna have to ask the women in the chat.
Maybe it's like a lift because I know that
guys, you can't just lift up the ears. The face goes behind the ears. So
maybe that's why they have to fill it to. I don't know.
Maybe the ladies know in the chat. If you do, please let us know what an ear filler is. I'm really curious. Also, the 12 shows of Korn. If you want to see those are coming up. You can get tickets. And Chris Brown, apparently. And Oasis. Viva's letting his...
you're reading this site.
That's more interesting to me because Viva called me and he wanted to come out and see Oasis with me. And I said, well, I'm going to be out of town that particular thing in September. And he says, all right, then I'm not going to go, but I'm sending my daughter by herself. I said, are you out of your mind? He's putting his daughter on a plane to come here to see Oasis. She'll be lucky if she gets back east alive.
Well, we've got a member of our audience who's seen Oasis in Chicago. He should send her there. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He was asking, he was going to come just to hang out and take me to see Oasis, of which I would pay to see the Gallagher brothers fight during the middle of the set. That would be worth it.
Apparently,
if they could guarantee a
along.
fight. Yeah, for now.
Well, I mean, it's a miracle. I was wondering if they're going to make it past the first show. Or
well, the Davies brothers, I could think of Ray and Dave Davies famously, who also a lifelong feud from the Kinks, Dave Davies and Ray Davies. But there are those feuds of show business brothers that goes on for years.
Well, I was thinking of Perry Farrell. I mean, they're not brothers, but
they're not brothers, no.
But
right.
but
I'm
yeah,
talking about
similar
brothers.
stuff. Like I didn't know if their reunion would be like that show where all of a sudden
Could be.
one
They
goes up
could
on the
snap
other.
at any time. That's why people go to see those shows.
It's like
It's
hockey.
like going to
Everybody's
Daytona
hoping for
500.
blood on the ice.
You're hoping for a crash at the Daytona 500. Don't deny it.
There's that, or hockey. All right, you sent me this one before. We got a Connecticut Dem. I love this. Cuffed again after shoplifting at the same Target.
Want to explain this to me? What is the deal with these shoplifting psychopaths? I'm not talking about the BLM people. This guy's 33 years old, and he just keeps getting caught at the same Target, not scanning the shit. It's got to be a sickness. I mean, he's got the money, or maybe he doesn't have the money. What do I know? Maybe it's just how he rolls.
Oh, maybe he's like Winona Ryder or whatever. I mean,
Well, this is the other story. The naked guy. That's two stories stuck in one story here. There was the naked Democratic guy, and then there is the shoplifting Democratic guy, right?
no, this is the same guy. It's just the original, his first.
No,
arrest
but
on
you
the
just
subway.
had an image of the naked guy who was arrested as a Democrat too. That's a separate. There is the South Carolina
Oh,
meltdown.
okay.
There's two separate stories stuck in one here. Naked
All
South
right.
Carolina man says, "Here he is."
Hi.
This was the guy running for governor.
Oh no, you're kidding.
No, it's a huge story.
Joey, you call me whatever you want.
Yeah, that's
All right,
right.
hold on. Let me back up. Let me back up.
Go ahead,
Okay,
go ahead.
yeah. Wow, I'm getting
It's a hissy
culture.
fit. And then there's this. Democrats in South Carolina suddenly have themselves a candidate problem after William Mullins McLeod, their choice to be the next governor, was arrested in his underwear. Hammered. The encounter with police happened way back in May, but we're just getting a look at this hour-long dash cam video of McLeod's arrest. And my God, bless his heart, you just can't look away.
Tell me your name.
I'm just you.
Okay, well, we tried. We've all tried.
I tell you what, you got to give me a name. Superman sounds good. I'm Superman. Joey, you call me whatever you want to. I don't care. Just get this off me and get me out of this car. My name doesn't matter.
McLeod refused to get out of that car when instructed by officers to do so, and he tried to use some sound logic, explaining simply, it's time to go to bed. Yes, clearly bed would have been the right choice earlier in the night. Now, this whole incident happened in downtown Charleston, where, according to a police report, this guy was causing a big old ruckus, screaming, yelling, wearing nothing but his shoes and his undies. At least he had those on for all of our sakes. But things took a dark turn at one point when the
my.
gubernatorial hopeful threatened to kick his political rival's teeth in and then
Whoa.
spewed the N-word at least twice. Now,
Oh,
South
that's always a
Carolina
winner.
Democrats,
That's
as
odd.
you can imagine, think in light of the video, perhaps he's no longer an ideal candidate to win an election. And
Former
they've asked
slave
him
owner.
to end his run for governor and to focus on his mental well-being. McLeod, for his part, pretty much said, nope, he believes his disorderly conduct arrest was unlawful.
Whoa.
That's how you
Dude,
fight.
that's how you keep running in South Carolina. You just
Oh,
it
God.
took me down. It was completely illegal. I'm your man. Stand by me.
I have a feeling that South Carolina is a bit of a red state, so I don't think he was going to be going very far.
No, I'm
anyway.
not saying he would, but I mean,
Wow.
he may not even bail out of the race. He's probably such a loser anyway because of red versus blue there.
Hey, maybe that's the first time he'll get noticed. Some people vote for him just because of his entertainment
Mm-hmm.
value. Well, it's funny seeing that footage. Remember the meteorologist who broke into her mother or stepmother's house.
Oh, yes, that crazy story. Yes.
Okay, well, Midwest Safety, I think, has the footage, the body cam footage of the whole arrest, and oh my God, it is worth the show if people want to check that out. It is.
I always had
quite
this
funny.
idea that you could make a cop show if you could legally get a hold or voluntarily or pay to get body cam footage from all over the country, big and small police departments.
That's
and
what they're
get
doing. Midwest Safety is body cam footage. Like
No, I mean for a TV show, like Cops, where it's just all body cam footage, and you cut it up and build a storyline around each one each week on Fox, and it's just all body cam. I'm sure somebody's going to do it. It's a question of how much access you can get on a regular basis to body cam footage that's not in litigation, let's say.
Public record. I mean, and something like TV, you get 5-year-old footage. Who gives a damn?
No, I know. That's what they used to do with Cops and all these other shows. I mean, they weren't current, and it's so funny. The producer of Cops said publicly he told them to avoid any black people being arrested because of his own racial politics. He did. He admitted that during George Floyd. That and then he brought the show back. Remember, it went on hiatus during George Floyd. He brought it back afterwards, and he said, "I had told them not to film arrest of black people. He didn't want to exacerbate situations in the country." You ever wonder why it was all white crackers? You ever wonder why it was all white meth guys?
I remember it back when there were plenty of black people arrested when it was.
Well, that went away.
No, I know, but I haven't watched it in 10 years.
You got to watch it. How do you not watch that? I mean, come on.
How do I not watch it? I don't know, but it makes me think of Adam Carolla talking about. Have you noticed that on all the alarm commercials that the burglars are always white?
It's all commercials with crime. They're always white. The TV cop shows are all
judges, white. But judges are always black.
The
females.
Chief of police has to be black. You know the rules. The DA's got to be a black woman. I mean, everybody knows that it's the inverse reality of the society we live in. But I saw Adam Carolla going out to Malibu yesterday with Caruso. Caruso is such a weird piece of enigma shit that he came out denouncing the Border Patrol for arresting illegal aliens around the city. He completely sides with Karen Bass, this guy Rick Caruso. And I said, bro, that's why you're never going to be mayor in this fucking city.
That sounds like a plant.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
What a ridiculous human being.
Yeah, I mean, at least she's consistent.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
It's a full-on consistent comment. No question. You know what she is, but
this guy is so sketchy. Rick Caruso. What a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Schwarzenegger is going after Newsom now over this.
I saw that he's mocking him. And
he's going to tour. He's going to go and protest. Oh, nice. He's going to. I don't know if he's touring outside of California, but he's going to do press events along with others. There's a lot of money coming to crush this thing.
Wow. All right, this is a story. I'm not sure which way to go. I just mentioned the guy. It's weird. I mentioned Jasmine Crockett. Then here's another story right away. Janine Pirro, another story right away. This is the same week. It's different stories. I mentioned Benny Johnson. I've really never watched a lot. I'm not as into his delivery. He's a very talented guy, all that, but I'm just kind of not my thing. But I did like what he was doing with AOC going to her hometown, Jasmine Crockett. So I watched a couple of those very recently. Apparently, though, he is being sued. And yes, he's being sued by somebody else for stealing content. But here's what's interesting. I've always wondered about where the hell did this guy Benny Johnson come from? Because he seemed to come out of nowhere.
Another one of these guys.
Exactly. He got millions. Well, it turns out that he was fired from BuzzFeed in 2014.
Oh, that's sketchy.
Because they reportedly found 41 instances of sentences or phrases copied word for word from other sites among the 500 stories he had written.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. And then now he's being sued by another creator for lifting.
Oh my God, this guy's unbelievable.
Their work about the flooding. in North Carolina last year during, remember Hurricane Helene?
Yeah.
Apparently this resident, Billy Bowling, said that he published his video on the flooding, and then 2 days later, the show took the video and published it on his YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. Now, it's all alleged. I don't know, but
No, it's
with
in
a
the lawsuit.
BuzzFeed track record, that's not a good thing.
Well, there's going to be a new Curb Your Enthusiasm spinoff with Larry David, the producers of the new spinoff. I don't know if it's going to be on HBO or what, but they're bringing back the entire original cast who's still alive. But not all of them are alive. I mean, Richard Lewis is not going to be there, except for one actress who has been disinvited. I don't know if you have that story. This actress, apparently the producers went out of their way to tell Larry David they were not interested in having her come back to the show, which I thought was kind of cruel. Cheryl gets snubbed. Yeah, this is kind of interesting.
Never mind the producers. He has no balls to say, sorry, then I'm not coming.
Oh, no, quite the opposite. He is so woke. But I wanted to tell the audience who the producers are. Because the Higher Ground production company is run by Barack and Michelle Obama, and they specifically ordered no Cheryl Hines, and Larry immediately agreed. So she will be the only one who will not be on the spinoff because of a request by the former Marxist in chief and his possible male first lady, which I found to be bizarre, that they would get this petty into the weeds. Their Higher Grounds production company, their deal was
ironically named.
Not ironically, they did it, for political purposes, but their deal has been dropped by Netflix. So this is going to be an independent thing with this sap, Larry David, who agreed to jettison this woman for no apparent reason other than to be mean-spirited.
Didn't you just interview somebody 2 days ago that got screwed over hard by Larry David?
Yeah, Larry Charles. I mean, he was Larry Charles's mentor, and we're going to cover that in part 2 of. We just ran out of time. He's got to come back, and we're going to do part 2. But in there is him being snubbed by Larry David after he made a full-scale documentary of it, and Larry David prevented it from being aired on HBO after he did the entire project.
Which is a weird pairing, by the way, when you have 2 first names, Larry and Charles.
Yeah, it's a nightmare
Larry
for me
and David next
people
to
people who know me know that I have a mental block of names that have 2 first names. It's like a complete disease. I can't recall any names that have 2 first names. So Larry David and Larry Charles just drive me insane. But that's his real name. Larry David is David. Larry Charles is not. Larry is.
What's his middle name? I think.
Larry Wingrad.
Dropped the last name.
Wingrad is his real name.
Okay. Well, related to your, that's kind of related to your interview in a way.
Yeah.
And then related to the interview I just put out yesterday, I interviewed the guy who did pyrotechnics for Kiss, and it turns out that Kiss is going to be getting Kennedy Center honors, which, by the way, there are a lot of bands out there and a lot of artists out there that I could think of. Kiss wouldn't be high on my list for Kennedy Center honors. I don't know.
Well, it depends how you look at it. You could go through the old ones that were honored and say the same thing. There are some really bizarre choices. And Stallone is on there. George Strait. I don't know who Michael Crawford is.
I can see George Strait. I mean,
Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, is a classic black soul singer. They're pressuring her to bail out, Gloria Gaynor. It's incredible lungs, incredible chops.
Yeah.
But I mean, and Stallone is his ambassador to Hollywood, so that's going to be fun.
I mean, I could see that. Well, again, I'm not trying to diss Kiss. I mean, they're a very big band and everything. It just
they had dissed him is the storyline in the article. The point of the article is they were anti-Trump, and now they're overjoyed to be.
Well, they've gone back and forth. Gene Simmons and Trump go way back. I mean, Gene Simmons was on season 1 of The Celebrity Apprentice, and was fired in 3rd week. Happened to just see that the other day. So
okay, I mean, you don't have to turn on Trump for getting fired.
Well, no, I think it's just back and forth type of thing. The guy I just interviewed yesterday, I asked him about Gene Simmons, and he said that Gene Simmons is an interesting guy. He said, let's just say that if there was a stadium full of assholes, they would elect him king.
Oh, so he's saying that Gene Simmons is an asshole.
As
opposed to every other lead singer of every other band that ever existed. I mean, every lead singer of every single rock band's an asshole.
I know he said Ronnie James Dio apparently is a sweetheart. Or was
ask about the Guns N' Roses lead singer, Axl Rose, what kind of asshole level. I mean, they're all legendary. Perry Farrell, and I mean, every one of them is a psycho.
Oh, except Ozzy Osbourne. You said he was a sweetheart.
He was the sweetest guy. I mean, you wouldn't even know this guy was in rock and roll. I mean, I think he'd made enough money, had done enough stuff where he didn't care anymore.
It could be. I've been under the impression that maybe Sharon kind of helped him out and dragged him around and whatever. Right. You sent me this story earlier. It's a fun little departure. We've talked about car chases all the time. I've never seen a mini bike chase.
Well, okay, let me just set this up before you get to this one. There was this incredible car chase where two guys carjacked a pickup truck, another pickup truck, and then a semi-tractor trailer in hot pursuit, full speed through LA. The tractor trailer pulls into a spot, and the two guys got away, having hijacked a tractor trailer filled with milk at gunpoint. This mini bike one is kind of a fun one. But the 30%, 27% of hijackers, car pursuit people get away with it now in LA. I mean, that's an enormous, you're talking about on TV, followed by 700 police cars, followed by Hollywood police helicopters, and 25 to 27% escape.
I had no idea.
Neither did I.
That had to be a change then. Must be because they're limited in what they're able to do to stop.
It's they're getting hip on how to escape. They pull into a shopping mall parking garage, dump the car, and then walk into the mall. They go into a housing project and they pull in and go into the project. They know how to escape, the cats who are doing this. And these guys hijacked the tractor trailer, at gunpoint. But let's see this video. This one's kind of fun. This is a guy on a mini bike who gets out on the highway.
To tell you about.
Yeah, no, this one
Please
is.
Chase a man on a mini bike around the Harbor Gateway area.
Let's go out to Gigi Graciette with new information on this. Ultimately, he's only 18 years old, and he's facing some big
18, he's a man.
Without a license.
I know that was very.
He's only 18.
I know that's some bullshit.
I mean, if you said 13, I would go, that would be interesting. He's an 18-year-old man.
Yeah, look at that teen on mini bikes. So he's
ridiculous.
I agree.
18.
I noticed that earlier. I hate that.
A police officer spotted the mini bike and its driver. Mini bikes are not legal on city streets. This mini bike has no light.
All you need is OJ going.
Look at him go. This is downtown LA. Look at this.
And the mini bike had no license, and they tried.
But he's out on the highway. Look at this. He's on the freeway. Go, buddy, go.
Driving the wrong way on both city streets and on the freeway.
What could go wrong here?
Continued. California Highway Patrol taking it over on the 110 South, where at least he was headed the right way. Eventually, though, the mini bike ran out of gas. They don't hold much. I'm told up to a gallon or so. He ran out of gas.
That's about 70 miles.
HB took him into custody and impounded.
Look, he's a little baby. He's a 13-year-old boy. He's taller than those cops.
He's like Trayvon, could have been somebody's son.
You know what's funny? They don't care what you're riding. They will not pull in front of you and simply cut you off. Any cop could have simply gotten in front of him, hit the brakes, and put an end to it. They believe that if you have a gun, that you could shoot them from your position in back of them. So they refuse to get in front of you. Those are the rules of LAPD.
Well, that's why I was saying that people are probably getting away more too, because they're so timid. Before they would clip the wheel and stuff.
The timidity hasn't changed the laws, or not laws. It's their policy. This has been the same policy for a long time, but over the time, the amount of people getting away has increased. Yeah, The policy's been the same for years. They will not cut a guy off. They will not end it. And people know how to eventually get away.
Well, I want to.
This guy didn't.
This last little
Since he
bit.
wasn't wearing a helmet, that mini bike isn't legal on
Look at that
city
bike.
streets. It had no seat.
Loading it right in
They think he probably bought a kit.
That's what I had.
Right. They,
like
probably. She wants to know how he got it because that's relevant to the story. There's so many of these mini bikes. They cruise in packs of 30 and take over which is not part of this story. But 30 kids will get together and take over a street or sometimes the freeway, cruising as a club together. Dude, there's so much distortion out here.
Well, not only that, though. I mean, one of the actors who was in Sharknado got beaten up pretty badly by the mini bike hoodlums, didn't he?
I think that was the guys who were
Beverly Hills 90210 that he got beat up really badly.
I don't know. There might have been somebody stealing the catalytic converter who was killed on the site by a gang. He was a guy who worked in daytime soaps recently.
No, that's a different story. I'm talking about.
Okay.
Ian, what's his nose, or I forgot his name, but there's these mini bike kids, and they confront him. And
yeah, they're quite vicious. And the street takeovers. There's Bill O'Salley, the new, as I said, the federal prosecutor in L.A. Is going at the street takeovers now for the first time, and they're going to put an end to this thing. This thing is so crazy. They take over these streets and do donuts all night. Ian Ziering, I guess his name is.
I think that's him.
I don't remember that guy's career, but these street takeovers, the feds and the FBI are now going to end this thing. It makes the LAPD look so, ineffectual that the feds can come in and end something that's been going on for years and then try to take credit for it themselves.
Well, I mean, you have to feel for the cops because they're
I do.
to do a damn thing.
I do. It's not their. There's nothing they could do about it. Again, the mayor runs the police force. You have a Marxist mayor with a 6,000 man army. Tell me that's not a recipe for freaking disaster.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They alter crime statistics. She tells them who they can arrest, who they can't arrest, what crimes to prosecute. Luckily, Hochman is now in there and Gascon is out, and Hochman is starting to make a dent, but it's going to take years. It would help if she was indicted by a grand jury, which is what I've been saying for months is going to happen, and I'm sticking with it.
Maybe she will. The mini bike story. I don't know if we've talked about it a couple of years ago. We had an issue with scooters around here where it was like all these scooters suddenly were all over the place. And I came to find out that it was DUIs. People would get DUIs, they'd lose their license, and they would just get these scooters and then ride them everywhere.
Well, Santa Monica has now seized hundreds of e-bikes by force and said they're completely illegal. So they're banned in Santa Monica, the e-bike. It's unregistered, no license, no helmet, no nothing. And I don't know, those are not all DUI people. There are people who are using an e-bike for whatever, personal reasons, but
these are like Vespas type.
Yeah, these are electric bikes that have been banned in Santa Monica, which is kind of fascinating. And they're taking them from people.
Well, they cured the problem here.
Yeah.
They just said, you can ride them. You have to get a license.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
that's the end of that.
Like January 1st, when that came into effect, like it was 2 years ago, it was like they disappeared off the road. So go figure. All right. You sent me this story. It's I guess our feel good story for the day. It's behind a paywall, so hopefully you were able to read the whole thing. Wiffle ball.
Yeah, the wiffle ball bat. There's a company that's been in business for 138 years or some insane amount, and it's the same family that still owns this thing. And if anybody out there has ever played wiffle ball with that bat and with that ball, as I say this, the sound and the feeling of standing in the back of your garage, hitting that wiffle ball. Every single person who's ever done this as a kid knows the exact sound and the feeling of hitting that wiffle ball with that wiffle ball bat, which is so in our DNA for any kid who's ever done this. You know what I'm talking about. And this, unbeknownst to me, this family has been doing this for over 100 years. The same family-run factory is still doing this to this day, the Wiffle Ball Incorporated. But the bat and ball comes as a set, Eric, and then somebody pitches it and you hit it, and it has a sound and a feel that only if you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. I just immediately took me back to that feeling and sound of hitting a wiffle ball. And you could take the wiffle ball, because it's got slices in it of cuts, plastic cuts, and the air goes through it. You can make that wiffle ball move, and at least everybody I know could. You can make it into a knuckleball and make it flow through the air like a knuckleball and make it do crazy crap. And it's kind of fun because you've got a plastic bat trying to hit this butterfly moving ball in midair. Plastic. They're both hard plastic. So it was just a great thing you did with your dad, or you did it with your friends or brothers. Everyone who's ever played wiffle ball knows what I'm talking about.
And I love those rare cases of family businesses and legacies that multi-generational. It's becoming rarer and rarer and rarer all the time. But no, that's awesome. I almost hate to do the next story. This one, remember the Transtifa or trans?
Oh yeah.
Story
the trans
with
who are Antifa up in Portland.
Yeah, well, one of the worst ones. Finally, they got arrested. Everything else.
Okay, great.
You know what, of course, happened, right?
They were released.
No, he was sentenced to 1 day of community service.
Oh yeah, of course.
And immediately goes out and threatens a journalist after the sentencing.
Yeah.
This guy, isn't he cute?
Again, you have to confront the judges physically. I can't say this enough. Make the judges uncomfortable in their own skin. Go to their homes. Go to the courtroom. Wait till he comes out. Get in this guy's face. Make them feel the anguish of the community. Nobody has the gonads to deal with this. I mean, obviously, legally impeaching him or not voting for him is another way of dealing with it. But these guys are entrenched up there, Eric.
Yeah.
They're entrenched. I mean, the key problem is not law enforcement. The key problem is the judges, as you're well aware. You could switch DAs all day long. You can put a new chief of police, a new mayor. But as long as you've got those judges entrenched up in there or out in New York or wherever the hell they are, nothing's going to change.
Well, there's multiple layers that are a problem. It's not only judges. You also have the Gascons who won't even charge them. So it's like, it's a miracle to get them charged, and then it's a miracle to get them convicted. It's
every single person arrested.
Judges.
Every single person arrested here in LA during the Border Patrol riots that they had, where they had to bring in the National Guard. Every one of them was released by judges, despite the work of the prosecutor's office, despite the work of Nate Hochman. Everyone was released. And they arrested dozens and dozens and dozens of people for violent, throwing cinder blocks at the federal agents, smashing the car windows, all kinds of violent things. Every one of them laughably released, despite press releases from the federal prosecutor's office and Nate Hochman's office.
Amazing. Okay, this story, I'm trapped at the paywall, but you can always talk us through, because I'm sure you have a subscription.
This guy, you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows on this particular story. Curran Price is the fourth city councilman caught, not together. These are separate embezzlement charges.
How many do you have total?
Well, they keep replacing them, so I think you have 5 supervisors, and I think there's 10 city councilmen and women. Again, the situation remains the same. His wife created a nonprofit. He funneled tons of money to her and put her on his government Medi-Cal or medical program and medical insurance program, and took bribes and just caught straight up. They're the worst. These are the worst white collar criminals I've ever seen in my life. These are not difficult prosecutions. They are caught every time red-handed. It's one after another. It's one after another. He's going to prison for years. This is outside of the judges in the county. This is a federal thing. And the FBI has gone after LA politicians successfully for the past 5 to 10 years. And I believe they're going to take down more of them because they're thoroughly corrupt and they're not smart about it. These cases are so brazen, Eric. It's literally taking your girlfriend, these types of stories, taking your girlfriend, putting her on the payroll, funneling her money, going on vacations, blah, 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 blah. And then they're caught and they just go, hey, wait, it's racism. And they're going, sorry, they ain't going to cut it anymore, bro. We've got too many receipts.
And you mean like Fonnie in Atlanta? Similar,
yeah,
only as a boyfriend, and in her
case, the same story. It's the same story. It really is abuse of power and just ignorance that they'll ever get caught, and chutzpah.
Well, the people keep voting him in.
Well, they're going to vote him in prison now because he's going to have to run from jail like the rest of them.
I mean, old Fannie got reelected with the landslide.
Right.
So whatever.
All right, the re-election doesn't trump jail, however. You know what I mean?
No. I mean,
right.
eventually, you're hoping that they all get caught up. And as a matter of fact, I want to get more on it. I forget the reporter. I think it's John Eastman. He was on with Megyn Kelly yesterday, but there are actual grand juries going on right now.
Yeah.
And he has spoken to people who have been subpoenaed into the grand jury. So
don't forget, Woodward and Bernstein famously violated the grand jury shroud of secrecy and were called before Judge Sirica, who could have thrown them and should have thrown them in jail. But Sirica was in on it and let them off the hook for plucking out actual grand jurors and talking to them about their testimony. Just historically, to give you some historical analogy.
Well, there's a great analogy if you look at it: corruption, political, election. But
you're not allowed to talk to grand jurors while impaneled. That's all I'm saying.
No. I mean, that makes sense, and I don't think this guy just reporting that he has spoken to people who claim that they have been subpoenaed. I think that's probably fair. He is not revealing their name or anything of it. So I guess that's okay. I don't know the rules. But if he reported, they told me this happened and this happened, then that would probably be a bigger problem. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got the one in Miami going on. I think, it's a question of location for these grand juries. If you get them out of DC, you've got a much.
He mentioned.
Philadelphia. That's a weird one. Well, you could pull people from the suburbs.
Yeah, I don't know. He said New York. No, he said Pennsylvania. He might not have said Philadelphia.
Yeah, maybe in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Okay. So we don't know what's going on. Now, you sent me something about Politico claiming that Laura Loomer is targeting RFK Jr.
Well, I don't know if she's targeting him, but she feels that he's positioning himself to, again, this could be a internal way to smoke him out. Laura Loomer feels that RFK Jr. is positioning himself to run in 2028, which he has every right to do. With Trump gone, I mean, him coming out and saying he has no plans and he's loyal to Trump doesn't really cut it. The reverse would be, yes, I have plans to run in 2028. So this particular thing holds no water as far as I'm concerned. Her story is, whether he acknowledges it or not, it kind of makes sense because with Trump gone in 2028, why wouldn't RFK Jr. run for office?
Well, I mean, yes, it's wide open technically.
But I'm saying she believes that this guy is planning to do this. He came out, immediately made a statement saying he's not going to run. So clearly he is aware of her article, but it doesn't eliminate the truth of her article by somebody saying I'm not running in 2028 and I'm loyal to Trump. It's two different things.
Well, I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know what.
I mean, what is he supposed to say? What would you say? What
purpose is the article? Because it could fracture the work he is doing for Trump right now. If she's,
I don't know, but if she seems to think that he's a rat, and there's some legs to the rat story that he's trying to promote himself or do something, or there's some force that she is now put out there that may hold this guy in check. I mean, regardless whether it's her and him, just in pure politics, if somebody in your administration is thinking about running and you don't want that person to run, this is the type of thing you would do in general, whatever administration.
I guess.
I mean, if you're for J.D. Vance, do you want to run against RFK also, or do you want everybody to coalesce around J.D. Vance, which is what she, I believe, probably wants?
I don't know. But, you know, as long as she's not sabotaging his work that he is doing right now.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with his work. I mean, the vaccine and the MAHA and the dyes are moving along in terms of health and human services. I don't think that's an issue. I think it's an issue of his political future.
All right. Well,
I mean, do you want a Democratic president in 2028?
Depends on who it is. I mean,
okay, so you're willing to vote?
Well, I didn't say it depends. I mean, if it's you know, like let's just say it was RFK Jr. versus Nikki Haley. Who would you choose?
RFK Jr. versus Nikki Haley. I don't know, but he's got a lot of money and he's got a lot of support.
I understand.
And he's got political ambitions. So I mean, I don't begrudge him that, but calling it out does not completely undermine the guy.
Okay. We'll see. All right. You sent me this one here. Man gets hit by a car trying to escape ICE.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, this is the second guy killed. This guy may be the new George Floyd. They haven't released his name because this guy ran from the Home Depot, and I've shopped at that Home Depot. He ran across the 210 freeway in Pasadena, immediately got hit by a truck and was killed when ICE was running after him and others at Home Depot. So this might not be the end of this particular story.
Wow. I mean, that's just sad. I mean,
the other guy, when they were raiding the marijuana farm, fell out of something and died. So this is the second guy killed by himself. I mean, they didn't kill him, but I'm saying accidentally died during an ICE raid.
Well, while I was looking at that story, this one I saw on the side, that's interesting. Comedian Paul Rodriguez arrested again in Burbank. And it's saying a possible drug possession charge.
He likes his drugs. Second drug-related arrest in Burbank this year. You know how difficult it is? He's obviously a heroin addict. You know how difficult it is
I didn't know that.
Get arrested for drugs. I mean, you got to be 70 years old. I mean, it's embarrassing. Really is embarrassing. Like, what is he doing? You know.
That is no. I mean, that's really sad. I really had no idea that he had an issue or anything. I hope he gets help. That's horrible. Oh, okay. This is the story you were talking about the earlier, I think. The Hoover gang members.
Oh yeah, this is the Hoover gang. Yeah, it's a street in L.A. Hoover, which runs pretty long. But yeah, this is the stamp or tramp stamp, a tattoo they put on their commercial captives, the young girls.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this has been operating. Look at these guys. I just want run their names. That's what dig their names. Scroll down a tiny bit more. Okay.
Amaya Armas,
Lady Duck, Young Poke, N4, Hands, Jamoni, Vermont Star, Popcorn is back. Chop 'em, Four Loke, Tiny Three, and Tommy Guns were all arrested. You think they're gang members?
Maybe. It's Four Loke, a cousin of
all
Tone
22 years old mostly, and then 19. A couple of older guys, but very young, Eric.
Well, not that young. I mean,
yeah,
they're in their 1920s.
Yeah.
I mean, there are gang members that are like under 18 for the deliberate purpose of if you have them do things, they can get into juvie and they get like one free pass. So I don't know. That's very, very sad.
Well, what's very sad is it's been operating for 15 years, and this is the first time anybody's attempted to take them down. They disbanded the gang unit. The gang unit used to deal with this, but they disbanded to the celebration of the gangs under Garcetti and then Karen Bass, the LAPD gang units that just dealt with gangs. They're gone. So now the feds have to take care of this mess.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, looks like the Trump meeting with Putin has ended.
Whoa.
And there's going to be a joint press conference. I have a feeling it'll probably be after we're done, that's why, folks, we haven't talked about it a whole lot, is because it's kind of going right now and we don't know exactly what is going to happen.
Well, if you look at the map of how much territory they've taken, and again, like I said before, this happens with any two warring powers on the eve of a ceasefire. You grab as much as you can in anticipation of a ceasefire. This goes on in all wars that are brokered to a ceasefire. But if you look at this map, look at the amount of pink that's on the right-hand side. The Russian-controlled territory before 224 is Crimea. And then look at all the pink. The light blue is what they're attempting to battle with right now. They have troops all in that light blue area. But Crimea and Mariupol and everything are all around that is really the territory that Russia wants, because those are the Russian-speaking areas.
You think of this area right here?
Yeah.
They'll settle for that?
Yes. That's going to be the demarcation line right there. And how they enforce that is what Trump is going to have to come up with. But the first thing is to get a ceasefire. So with the ceasefire, you want to cease firing at the furthest point you could possibly get,
sure,
which is just standard military operations. But believe me, this wouldn't even have been an issue if the entire planet had not used Ukraine as a proxy and held Russia at bay for 4 years. It's almost like Russia had to take on the entire world. And this is where we are. And Trump is not doing this to lose this. He's going to get a deal out of this. It may take a couple of meetings, but the first one is about a ceasefire. And I'm assuming he's going to get that today and then have a series of other meetings with Rubio and some of the other guys, and to give Russia both an economic policy and the territory that they've taken. And Zelensky's just going to have to accept it, and that's the end of it, because everybody's done with this thing.
Well, apparently, with Trump is like Ludnick and stuff. So they're
he brought his economic guys. Yeah. They want to sweeten the deal with an economic package as well as some defense package combo deal to get this done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. From what I understand, Zelensky has a plane standing by, so it could literally be a signed deal before we know it.
The ceasefire is a ceasefire. You only really need Putin to agree to it, because Zelensky will go along with the ceasefire. He's been calling for a ceasefire for months, Zelensky.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're getting your ass kicked and they're taking your territory, you probably want a ceasefire, right, Eric?
Well, you want a ceasefire, period. I mean, people are dying.
Well, they don't. I mean, that's what offended Trump was Putin said, I'm not ready for a ceasefire. Up until today.
In fairness, there are people in Russia, to Putin's right, his position's pretty good, but there are people, if he doesn't come home with enough territory,
I'm saying I don't think
they may internally have a problem.
The territory thing is not going to be settled today. That's going to take multiple meetings. I think what Trump's goal is today is to merely, and I don't say merely, but is to get a ceasefire.
All right. Well, people in the chat are saying, listening to Donald J. Trump doesn't sound like much got done. So I don't know that he's talking now. So I don't know. But what I do know is that Dick Dickerson gifted 10 America's Untold Series memberships, which
he also changed his logo, Eric.
No, it's been his logo for a while.
Oh, okay. What is that? It just looks like South Park.
It's like a what? I can't see it.
It's a South Park character.
It looked like the same thing. Anyway, whatever. Very weird. Packer Jack. Just stay away from the Jolly West omelet, Eric. I believe Mark described a dish known as Hopple Popple.
I've never heard of anything called hopple popple, and I don't know what a Jolly West omelet is.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
it might be hallucinatory. I don't know.
I don't know what a hopple popple is.
I'm sure Jolly West omelet would be quite the experience. Dr. Evil 814. Coffee. Have another cup. You can sleep when you're dead. You know what?
Okay.
I agree with that sentiment, Dr. Evil 814. And on that note and in that spirit, we do happen to have something that'll help you with that. And that is our own America's Untold Stories. Blends. Now, one thing cool about this is we're not just hawking a coffee to somebody else. Like there's somebody who sells one thing and another, and there's a coffee, and we're just selling it. These coffees were specifically created for us. The beans, the blend, everything, the roasting was created for the show. It is a distinct blend for our people. And the second flavor even was because of that, because of the tariffs and things that were coming into effect. We came up with an alternative because we might not be able to get the beans required for our custom blends. But because we've done all of that, and Phil at Mundo's has gone through the work, it's a veteran-owned roastery, I believe is what they called. We have two great blends. Both are fantastic to the point where I started to favor one, and now I just order a bag of each, and I alternate. When I finish the Supreme Breakfast blend bag, I go to the Magic Bullet blend, and then I go back to the Supreme Breakfast, and I just go on and on and on. And one thing I love about this is, again, you don't need to flavor it with anything. You don't need sugar in it. You don't need cream in it. I mean, some of you might still want that. I always had to have cream in a coffee, and I don't. It feels very rich, very fulfilling. And the secret to this coffee and why it's so good is it's not burned. And I did not understand that, but most coffees out there, your Folgers or whatever it is, they're burnt. People are like, oh, I like a dark coffee. Well, there can be dark coffee, but you want to take it off before it's completely burned. And Starbucks is technically responsible for a lot of the love of the burnt coffee out there. But I do hope you guys consider checking it out. Again, you can scan the screen right there. Got the QR code, or you can click the link in the description. And every bag helps us out a little bit, helps out our roastery, and we do appreciate it. All right, Dick Dickerson is saying peppers and eggs.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Italian staple and delicious.
Yeah, peppers and eggs. That's a good one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, I haven't had that. My problem is
it is Italian. It is mostly Italian.
Is he talking about green peppers and red peppers?
Like no, bell peppers. Green, yeah, bell peppers. Yeah.
I don't care for bell peppers, so that's kind of
well, once they're scrambled with eggs, it doesn't taste exactly the same.
All right, Dog Boy saw Corn 25 years ago with my kid. Raw power, dude.
Yeah, I know this guy, Jeff Quatnez, who was the manager of Korn. He's from Jersey, and he discovered Korn, and then he became their manager. But the interesting thing is, Jeff Quatnez was partners with a guy named Steve Bannon. And when Bannon first was attacked as being part of the Trump administration, Quatnez, a known liberal, actually came out and defended him.
So I think you told me about that.
Yeah, he was a manager of Korn. Okay. I think he still is. I think he still is in charge of Korn.
Well, that's two managers, because Greg Vidal was the manager of Styx back in the day.
I know a lot of managers, but these are two more.
All right, Dick Dickerson. My pick is the tranny macho man from South Park, Strong Woman episode.
Yeah,
but Dick, it's been the same thing for a couple of years.
I never noticed that. I thought he had something else.
No. Anyway, I don't know. Scott Bimbo got a great show. Caught it live today. Well, I'm glad you did, man. It's good to see you. And we met Scott in California.
Really? This is a guy in a wheelchair with no legs you're talking about? Or he's a regular guy?
He's a regular guy. He's the one that
kidding,
goes
I'm
into the
just kidding.
Airbnb and subscribes. Remember?
I'm kidding. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. What else do we have? Okay, I saw this. This is a interesting story. Brian Koberger has been sentenced, obviously, and he's now in prison. Apparently, he's got kind of a interesting welcome, though. The prisoners in the Idaho prison are, quote unquote, making his life hell.
What do you expect? I mean, look at the guy. He's
what they're doing is
I could expect nothing less, you know.
But what they're doing is actually pretty creative, because he's like in isolation where, you know, nobody can get
What do
to
you
him,
do
whatever.
then?
Well, they have vents, and so they just yell at him through the vents like all hours of the day and the night, and he's complaining that, you know, he can't sleep, and then he's complaining he's not getting a proper vegan meal that he wants. You know,
how do you get the vegan meal? I mean, do they even have that?
Apparently.
Oh, weird. I mean, somebody must have sued years ago to get that, right?
Well, I'm sure, like, you'd have to have kosher meals, or if somebody is Islamic, you'd have to have, you know, variants because of different religions. So I'm wondering if vegan might be in that category.
Might be better to have the vegan at that point.
Well, there's actually a story to that. In the Army, we had MREs, meals ready to eat, but we also had HREs, which are humanitarian rations that we would give out. And some of the humanitarian rations, because of different cultures, were vegetarian, if you will.
Were they better?
They actually were better.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah. That's what I figured. That's what I figured. Somebody ordered a kosher meal on a flight. I don't know what airlines was in Europe the other day, and they wrote "Die Zionist" on it and gave them the meal. Now, the suspects are limited in this crime, but I'd look in the galley for that one.
You know what? I guess you know, I've interviewed Will Riley a couple times, and I've seen these over the years, and a lot of times when people get something and something nasty is written on that thing, a lot of times it's them doing it themselves. A lot of hoaxes.
I don't think these Jews did it themselves. I'm going to take a guess on this one.
Okay, well, I mean,
we don't really do that. That's not our thing. Apparently, we don't even have to, because it's so prevalent that we don't have to bother with that.
Maybe I don't know. I definitely admit, though, that I always want to get more information, because it's not only, you know, like the quote hate crime hoaxes that are out there. Other people who are doing it quite a bit are cops. A lot of cops have done the death to pigs thing on the Starbucks cups and stuff like that. So it's not just one particular group or another. I don't know if you saw the story, but have you heard of Legionnaire's disease?
Oh,
that's like an ancient disease. I don't know what it does.
No, ancient. It's from the 80s. It's called the 80s ancient, but that's when it was prevalent.
Really, Legionnaire's disease, I thought was older than that.
No, again, that's when I remember it, because of air conditioning and vents and everything. And
okay, well, apparently,
had to do with cooling systems originally in the 80s.
And yes, okay. Well, guess what? Apparently, it's come back.
Okay, that's weird.
And there's been an outbreak.
That's bizarre.
To 12
they didn't know what it was at first,
including a cooling tower to Harlem Hospital.
Yeah, that's where it started from. I don't know about in Harlem, but it started with these cooling systems that got mold in there. They weren't cleaned. They didn't have the exact science that we have now with HVAC. That's why it's such a bizarre story.
Yeah, well, apparently it is back. I didn't know if you had more information or you knew about that.
I do know about it. That's what I know.
I mean,
I don't know about this. I'm assuming that this is an unclean cooling system that bred this Legionnaire's disease again.
Great. And always nice to have it at a hospital.
It started at a hospital last time, ironically, I think. And then also hotels. There were institutions that had industrial cooling systems that were unclean.
All right. Well, I don't know how do you deal with that other than hopefully they get it. Oh, by the way, the reporter I was talking about earlier that was talking about the grand juries is John Solomon.
John Solomon. What's inside the news or in the news?
Just the news. Yeah.
Just the news. It's pretty reputable.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But I couldn't remember his name. I think I said another name earlier, so I wanted to clear it up. All right. They're making some hay about this. Did you see Schumer's story about Joe and Eileen Bailey?
Who?
Okay. Apparently, Schumer for decades has been talking about these particular constituents that he does everything for.
Chuck Schumer's political life, which is a little weird given they don't exist. Seriously.
No. Eric. It's so sad. They live in Massapequa, where I lived with Seinfeld and Brian Setzer and the Baldwins, and there's no Baileys. It was the Grouberts, the Baldwins, the Seinfelds, and the Setzers, and now there's no Baileys in Massapequa. This is dark. This is really dark.
No Baileys.
Is there any penalty for this, for making up an entire family, the couple, the rest of the entire political career?
I think it might be.
What does that fall under?
I don't know. I kind of wonder if it's like an Avatar type of a situation, like it's a representative family. Like imagine this couple, Bill and Sue Smith, and then and he just has taken to such an extreme.
He's
degree.
Literally sending them Christmas cards.
Yes, he's sending them Christmas cards. Absolutely. All right, this broke, I think, right after we were done or whatever. But Paxton has he's taken action against Beto O'Rourke, also known as Robert Francis O'Rourke. He's somebody else who is
Robert Francis.
Latinxis is his name. He's trying to make him sound in Latin. Anyway, contempt for violating court order and scamming Texans. So he's going after.
Oh, wow. I love that they're going after these people. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing to watch. I don't even care about the outcome. I've said this to you on the show before. I don't even care if they get a jury that acquits them. Well, it's luck of the draw. But just the fact that they're being indicted and being brought to justice, because the jury trial is a roll of the dice. But so you can't really control that. But at least they're indicting people.
True. Let me see. You've got the Justice Department is found George Washington University deliberately indifferent to anti-Semitic discrimination.
Oh, add them to the list because it's another one that's going to have to negotiate with Trump, or actually with Harmeet Dillon. UCLA is apparently doubling down and will not buckle. In their $1 billion lawsuit that Trump is throwing at them for anti-Semitic maneuvers that they pulled during these protests. So they are going to fight to the death. I don't know if George Washington University is going to. Others have capitulated already, which it kind of reminds me of this Hunter Biden story, where the others have capitulated, which is not going to help your case if you're George Washington University or UCLA. Newsom has aligned with UCLA, claiming that they will fight together to the death against Trump and his anti-Semitism.
Well, again, I don't think Newsom gives a damn about actually winning anything. He cares about the optics of
he's doing
that
everything.
He's fighting, that he cares, and it actually works better if it doesn't actually go through.
He's doing actual Trump things. In fact, to stay in the news, he's suing Fox like Trump sued CBS. Everything Trump has done, Newsom has done the same thing now. He's just copying him, thinking that people are going to think he's Trumpian in a democratic way. Suing Fox News because they described the phone call that he had with Trump as inaccurate. Whatever the phone call was, he's suing them, claiming that they smeared him. Good luck with that. I mean, Fox asked for a judge to throw it out today. According to the paper that came out today, I don't know if the judge threw it out or not. The point of the matter is he's copying Trump in all these different things, like he's battling him. Like that's his whole storyline.
The anti-Trump, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the anti-Trump.
And I've told you that though. I mean, but the Democrats are like, oh, he's a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least he's a fighter. We've got Schumer, who's hanging with the Baileys. We've got Newsom, who's a fighter.
Yep,
which is silly. All right, I did want to share this as we're getting closer.
Are they leaving or?
No, this is when Putin arrived. But watch what Trump did. This. Okay, do you know that or remember when Putin had Merkel and she's deathly afraid of dogs? So he had his dog like walking around and she's like just panicked and sitting down. Well, Trump kind of did the same thing with Putin a little bit, just a little bit of show. They're walking along. Look overhead.
Okay. I'll take that. Oh, those other jets are there on the ground. That was kind of nice, too. He was looking at those, Putin. He had, according to sources, a secret camera in his right watch, on his right hand, and he was photographing those jets there with his micro camera.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised, really?
What? I mean, he would photograph or something? I mean,
yeah, he would use a wristwatch camera to photograph those jets. You wouldn't be surprised?
No, I mean, I've got a wristwatch camera. I've had it.
Okay, all right.
And video, so why not?
Okay.
But I did appreciate the
flyover?
Yeah, just a little of, oh, yeah, this is who you're talking to now.
Well, I mean, when your plane does land, you're escorted by the jets of that nation, which he did have an escort when he landed. Whatever nation you're going to, they take over, not your fighter jets. I mean, not everybody realizes that.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you're not going to allow a force to come in. No.
Right. No, I'm saying that because I was watching it live, so I saw this whole thing live, and they were looking for his plane, and then these two jets, which were unidentified from the ground, you couldn't tell whose they were. They were discussing whether they were Russian or ours, and of course they turned out to be ours.
Yeah, it's an escort in for sure. All right, I don't know if you saw that. This was the other day, but Pelosi came out with that tweet. Donald Trump delayed deploying the National Guard on January 6th when our capital was under violent attacks and lives were at stake. Now he's activating the DC Guard to distract from his incompetent handling of tariffs, healthcare, education, immigration, just to name a few blunders. Hold on. Chief Stevenson, ma'am.
Yeah.
It is a long past time to be honest with the American people. On January 3rd, I requested National Guard assistance, but your sergeant at arms denied it. And then on and on and on. And he completely ratioed her ass big time.
Yeah, he was on with Greg Kelly this week saying this live. So I watched him being interviewed on Newsmax, and he went into detail minute by minute of how many times he called and how many times he was told that they're running it up the chain of command and blah, blah, blah. This is the print version, I think, but he basically said the same thing in the interview with Kelly. And there's a lot of hay to be made here, Eric, if properly handled, because he was the guy explaining the system, the chain of command, as they say. Mm-hmm. His job was to call this sergeant at arms, who then called Pelosi, and then they jerked him around. He called 7 times or some astronomical number to no avail.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm glad. I mean, she needs to be. It was her own daughter. Her own daughter was filming her, and there's film that was released of her sitting there denying it.
You got to get these people before they expire. Let me put it that way. Get them while they're hot.
Well, okay. By the way, that was one thing about the Solomon report that was new information to me. Remember the tarmac meeting between Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton? That, where they were talking about the grandchildren. randomly in I think it was Phoenix, airport. You just happened, hey, well, would you look at that? Hey, how are the grandkids? All that. Okay. He pointed out that apparently that was not about Hillary's server. That already had been cleared and they weren't going to do anything about it. And they knew it. Comey wasn't going to do shit. It was about the Clinton Foundation that there was, I think, 3 investigations going down at the same time. And Sally Yates
on that.
Sally Yates shut it down. And he's been releasing that information. A problem, statute of limitations. So, so much of this shit is so frustrating because they've managed to skirt it long enough.
Well, not with conspiracy, they can't. So you can
but the in terms of the Clinton Foundation stuff, that was just straight a good old fashioned crime. It wasn't part of the Russiagate conspiracy.
No, I'm saying it may be a separate conspiracy. They're using RICO statutes on a lot of these crimes, so they could get creative with these also.
Maybe. I mean, especially if it's ongoing. All right, so Patrick Biker is a member for 7 months. Thank you for continued live episodes. Thank you for being here to watch.
Are we live now? Is this still live, or is this recorded? What's this live?
It's live.
Okay.
You know what? One of my favorite is in the chat when I'm doing a live show and I reference the chat and I pull up the chat and then they go, "Is this live?"
They're mentally retarded. But some of them may come to Dallas if we give them the information, Eric, about how to get there, because we need 11 more tickets to break our record. We're getting close to the record-breaking amount of tickets in Dallas. I don't know how many people are going to go to help us break the record. We need 11, or I think exactly 11, to tie our record from last time. But apparently what Eric tells me, if you use that Untold 10 down, which I wish we had in quotation marks, so it's a little less confusing, but Untold 10 is the secret America's Untold Stories code that you would put in to get 10% off, which is a good chunk of change based on the prices for the in-person tickets starting at $149. So you take about 15 off.
No, it's 10% off of any ticket. So virtual ticket.
No, I'm saying even if you bought the most expensive one, which is the in-person one, to see us in person, it's a nice little way to do it. And then Eric's got one of those squigglies up there where you could put your phone. What's it called? The PR code. Yeah. He's got the PR code up. Oh, Robert Tannenbaum's going to be there, our old friend. Jeff Meek, Gavin McMahon, and Eric Hunley, Brent Holland. You know what? Just to meet up with these people would be fun, Eric. I mean, for us.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
to physically see these guys and everything. That's kind of fun.
Well, it was great 2 years ago when we went.
Yeah, we got to get all these guys all together for a group photo. You know what I mean? Like that we could put up on the site. But yeah, somehow Kennedy got a hole in his head. From what I'm understanding, I was speaking to somebody the other day that Luna is attempting to get the former KGB files out of Moscow. And they are cooperating with her. These are truckloads of files. This is not I was talking to Greg Burdell yesterday on his news show on radio. Apparently, these are enormous quantities of files. But if my memory serves me well, their result of their investigation led to the number one suspect by the KGB, and that was Lyndon Baines Johnson. So there may be some Democrats on the Comer Oversight Committee who are not happy with these files and may try to suppress them. And we'll discuss that in Dallas with various lawyers who are going to be there to open those files and not declare what I remember to be the results of the KGB's internal investigation was the number one suspect was Lyndon Baines Johnson, according to the Russians. You could poo-poo it or say whatever you want, but they've got thousands and thousands of files that seem to have reached the same conclusion that I did when I was 7 years old, and many other Texans reached, that the guy who benefited the most was the guy who was his vice president.
No, we've talked about it. I mean, a lot of people reached that conclusion early on, and then it was just kind of pushed under. Like, didn't that woman even write a play about it?
Yeah, that's right. Mick.
I forgot her name, but yeah, but it was like immediately after, within no time.
Yeah, but it was funny because Morley was on CBS this morning on Sunday morning, and they had, for reasons that made no sense, the guy who was running the LBJ library on to contradict the conspiracy theorists. And I went, well, why was this guy on? He had a book coming out about JFK, but it wasn't even a conspiracy book. It was just a book about JFK's presidency. And his name is Updegrove. And Updegrove used to run the LBJ library. And he's an LBJ crony going way back. And I'm going like, why is he on this show 60 on in the morning on CBS on Sunday? And they were covering Morley, and they put this guy on as a counterweight and didn't mention what I just said. In other words, they put him on and didn't mention his connections to LBJ. You could look it up. It's on YouTube. The episode's about 20 minutes long from this past Sunday with Jefferson Morley in his apartment in D.C., where the correspondent from CBS News is looking at his files. It's really creepy, and he's showing her his closet, not unlike that closet right in back of me, which is filled with my files and file cabinets. And he was showing her, and she's going, "Oh, this is fascinating. These are your files." And you could see how he had them ordered and everything else, whatever. And he was going on about his system and how he claims to now be to own the story, in his words. Like he is the only journalist. He now owns the story, according to Morley, in his words. So that was weird. And the fact that they mentioned Washington Post and this and that. I challenge anyone to find Morley's parents and see if you can. When I don't see the parents' names, like Michael Schellenberger, when you go to Wikipedia, these cats, there's a reason their parents don't exist in the data that's available.
That's true.
Usually a good spook sign.
All right. Mike Schaefer. If Ukraine agrees, either Trump or Witkoff should get the Peace Prize. Thoughts?
Well, I don't think it's going to be Witkoff. That's for sure. That's not going to happen. Witkoff is considered like an aide de camp almost.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Wow, $50 from Edward McLaughlin. Good show today. Legionnaires started in Philadelphia at a Legionnaires convention in the late 70s. Okay,
he's right, and it was through the air conditioning system, right, Ed?
I'm guessing so. But thank you very much.
I mean, that's where it got the name.
Generous.
That's where it got the name from.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ginny's getting inky with it. Have you heard about the $200 driver's licenses in Kentucky? The ones for illegals? Yeah, we did it on Tuesday. I brought the story up.
Yeah, I mean, we've had that here in LA, as I mentioned, where some guy got 1,000 licenses with the same Chinese photo on it, and then everybody had the same. It was so racist. It was so wonderfully racist that the DMV gave them all. It was corrupt. But they used one photo for every single license. I found that to be hysterical.
Oh, hey, look.
It was like a 30-year-old Chinese guy in the photo, and everybody bought, all the Chinese people had it.
Wow. All right. Scott Bimbo, thank you much again. In Eric's neck of the woods this weekend, Titan Museum, San Xavier Mission. The mission really needs signs. I thought these people take these missions seriously, weeping. No idea I was crashing a funeral and then onto the gift shop.
Well, we have missions out here in California that were put as mile markers all the way up to the border.
But I see his point. If they're running a funeral, you might have a sign saying "funeral in progress" or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, that could be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Stephen McMahon's back. Simply the size of the crowd anticipated dictated to Pelosi to have the National Guard called out. Oh yeah, it was
at a minimum, right, Stephen? I mean, let her explain it herself. Why do we have to keep reading her mind? I don't give a fuck what we think. I mean, let her explain it.
By the way, they there was published reports
Yeah.
in the newspaper, local papers, that there was going to be a big crowd the next day and there was going to be problems. I mean, it was so widely known.
Well, there's a good
And
video that was just released of this guy coming in a motorcycle helmet, and he's brought in handcuffs by these 3 cops into the Capitol in a hallway, and then they release him with his handcuffs, and he fist bumps them to the cops and goes about his business. One of the FBI people who were stirring up trouble.
Figures. Dr. Evil 814. When will then be now?
Right now, because you gave us the $2, so you're in. Okay. Yeah, it's right now.
There you go. All right, and Mike Schaefer, a super chat. All right, with all deference, just yesterday you had a replay on that wasn't live, but you answered questions. Okay.
You talking about? You talking about you?
Yes, he is. So
okay.
Yesterday I did what is known as a premiere.
Ooh.
So it was a pre-recorded show. We put it on here before. It was pre-recorded, but it was not a replay. It had never been played before. That was the first time it ever been played.
Technically correct, right?
But I answered questions because I was in the chat watching it. What I was talking about is, like, right now, I just brought your super chat on the screen. Now, I can't bring a super chat on the screen unless I am live at the time. So it is just kind of funny when there are some people, I will bring up a chat, and I'm not, naming specific people, but I will reference it or speak to it or bring it up on the screen at the time, and I'm talking live on the camera, and they ask if it's live. I find it to be kind of amusing, because how would I be referring to the comment that was on the screen? So anyway, that's what that's about.
Well, that's a good explanation.
Scott H. I was in Philly the week when the first Legionnaires broke out in 1976.
Oh, that's
Scott,
awkward. That's awkward.
Scott gets around. So he was there during the Pink Floyd concert that had the fire too. So Scott,
let me tell you something. This guy might be linked to all of these things happening. That's what I'm hearing from my sources. That's why he doesn't put his last name up, because he may have started the Legionnaires' disease.
I know. We've met him. We know who he is. We know you, Scott. He's been at multiple meetups, so you never know. He might be doing it for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we will discuss this further, because I know that Scott is a member in our locals community.
Okay.
And we're going to head over there, keep an eye on Scott and the other people, and conspire there where we can speak freely and not be held up by the YouTube censorship police. So there's a link in the description. I hope you consider going over there.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the 2 dads that are starting a new streaming service featuring just wholesome cartoons.
There we go.